a simple yet powerful way to just drop into more presence and more pleasure with the food that we're eating is to savor all five of our senses. Now, what do I actually mean by that? Savoring our senses is really just the act of bringing more awareness, more attention, more focus to each of our five senses as we're enjoying a meal. So let's go through every one of them and I'll show you how that can look in practice. I always start with sight because I like to say that we eat with our eyes first. So for this sense, we just want to simply bring our vision, bring our gaze to the food in front of us and just acknowledge the colors, the textures, the variation in the beautiful meal that we're about to eat, appreciating what we're going to put in our body and that possible rainbow of colors that we're going to enjoy, and just really noticing kind of the nuances in the colors as well. And next we have sound. And now sound's an interesting one because your food isn't always necessarily going to make a sound unless you might have a sizzling plate of fajitas, or you might hear the effervescence of the bubbles in your champagne glass. So sound can also refer to just the sound in your environment and what you're hearing around you. And the key to really savoring your sounds is to bring your awareness to a sound that does feel pleasurable and enjoyable to you. So, for example, if you're sitting outside on a busy sidewalk cafe and maybe hearing the sound of car horns or car engines whizzing by, maybe that's not the most pleasurable sound. Maybe it is for you too, but perhaps what feels more pleasurable is the conversation that you're having with your dinner mates, or the sound of a bird that you can hear off in the distance. So when it comes to sound, it's really about bringing your attention to the sounds that feel just the most enjoyable to be present with for you. And then next we have smell. And smell is one of the easy ones with food because of course our food is going to have some sort of scent going on. So this is really just about taking that beat, taking that extra pause to just simply take the time and notice what your food actually smells like. Or your wine or your drink, and just go noticing kind of the nuances, eating with your nose first in a way, or maybe second after your eyes. Just noticing what's going on there. And then we have touch. And touch can, of course, if you want, refer to how the silverware feels in your hand. But for me, most often, that's going to refer to the actual texture and touch and feel of what you're eating. And again, taking that pause, taking that beat to really notice the textures in your mouth and how it feels in your mouth. And along with the touch, we of course have taste. Probably the most fun one, definitely my most favorite, and often the easiest one when it comes to food is activating that sense of taste, because it's generally what we think of when we're going to eat is, ooh, what am I gonna be tasting? What's it gonna be like? But we can drop in even further. We can acknowledge the flavors and the intricacies and the nuance of those flavors even more by just bringing that presence to the food that we're enjoying. By just really, sometimes I even like to just close my eyes and really be with the flavors of the food. So that is savoring your five senses and the shift that I have for you today. So give it a try at your next meal, with the next food that you're eating, and really take that time to just tap into each and every one of those senses, from your sight to sound, to smell, to touch, and to taste.